Hey, welcome back. Later than usual this week. I did just get a complaint from Dynasty Dummies Zach Reed about the number of edits in my videos, but that's mainly because he wants me to just talk for 3 hours about fantasy football instead of 10 minutes. Not gonna do that, but we are gonna try it more off the cuff. I'm gonna try and get a nice clean 10 minutes, so I don't have to spend another 2 hours editing and I can go to bed.
Do you have the time to listen to me grind? Take down the film watchers and nerds all at once.
Been answering some interesting questions. I recently jumped into the DLF Discord instead of just my own. I've been trying to jump in here and there, but I haven't been going in as consistently to answer questions and stuff. And DLF, other guy running over there, was like, we really need someone. We need people to come in here and answer more questions. It can't just be me. But I see these questions a lot. And one of the ones that struck me most in my Discord and DLS Discord and on Twitter was Geno Smith and Breece Hall. It's too late to decide you really like Breece Hall. And I know social media is really kicking off because he's doing it now. But if you're hearing it from Twitter and going, oh, I better investigate, there might be a lag between Twitter and your league. Twitter isn't the world for most people. It is for me. But I think if you hear it on Twitter, it's done. It's dead in Dynasty. And this goes back to what we've been talking about on these weekly videos. They're trying to get faster rather than trying to be more patient. Try and be patient while trying to act quicker, actually, is probably a better way of saying it. And yeah, Breece Hall's done. Like, we're full up on Breece Hall hype. Hopefully you draft him in the rookie draft. He was the wrong rookie we felt pretty confident with. And if you use the first 3 weeks where Michael Carter was significantly showing the work in order to get in on Breece Hall at the similar value, because I don't think there was a value drop, except for someone like Keep Trade Cut, which is much more reactionary, but you find the person in your league probably much more staunchly on, no, I'm going to hold to see if he's going to do anything more. But now's definitely too late. And the questions I'm getting, should I do this for Breece Hall? Should I do that for Breece? Not I'm getting, but I'm finding, because I'm actively seeking out people to say, hey, can I help with Dynasty? Because I like doing that, and that's fun. But, like, why would you do it now? Like, 2 weeks ago was a good time. Yeah, last week was better. Now's not. We're done with Breece Hall. Like, it's just... I mean, if you can get a good trade in your league that would have looked good to me looking at the average in ADP 2 weeks ago, then you should do it. Like, again, if you can get Justin Jefferson for a first, you just get Justin Jefferson for a first. You don't need me to tell you that, hopefully. Yeah, so it's too late on Breece Hall. And Geno Smith, his value's really weird, I get it. And there's nothing to help you with this. We don't know what the Seahawks will do. I think the Seahawks will ride it out for the season. I think he's probably going to keep this up based on what he's doing so far in multiple different games, multiple different situations. He's got 2 great wide receivers. Yeah, he should keep it up. Will he keep the job next year is a question I've got nothing to help you with because I don't know what they're going to do. They're in contention to draft a running back, as the way Zach said it on the Dynasty Grind. And yeah, I feel that way too. I think he's in the Justin Fields tier of value in Dynasty. Because Justin Fields is younger and we have more hope for, and he's on the way down, and Geno Smith we'd forgotten about, essentially, more for worse, and he's on the way up. But they sit on opposite ends of the value spectrum. Geno Smith is, if you want a pretty good quarterback this year for points who may well have longer term value, we don't know what the Seahawks are going to do, so, it's potential. Then it's Geno Smith. And if you are just more looking to the future, value matters, Justin Fields, because he's probably going to keep the job. He's probably going to keep the ADP that they're at right now. And you can't have everything. This is something we talked about in the Dynasty Grind a lot. We often make content that sounds like you can do everything at once, when really there are leagues where you can have your cake and leagues where you're trying to eat your cake, value and points. You're trying to do both at the same in both leagues, but it's really hard to do one well if you're doing the other, if nothing else. You can't have cake and have eaten it. Wait, this has gone off the rails and I can't edit, so let me move back. Right now, there are 4 wide receivers in the NFL currently in the top 12, where everything about their statistics, from their volume to their actual performance on it, suggests that they are incredibly likely, like 76% of the time, wide receivers with those kind of stats finish inside the top 12 by the end of the season. Now, obviously, that doesn't account for injury, which is why it's 76 and not 100, and also reality. I'm looking at my mega thread that I post on my Patreon, because this is one of the things I included in it this week. Cooper Kupp, no surprise. Stephon Diggs, no surprise. Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill. Now, if you're trying to secure a top 12 wide receiver, those are for this year. Those are the 4 that you should try for first, because they're the most certain. But there's another tier of players we often find ourselves trying to buy into, or I find myself trying to buy into, because the difference between them and those 4, or them and Jefferson, or Chase for that matter, in terms of dynasty value, is mostly hype. It's mostly name brand, honestly. It feels like. Not that there is a difference between Jefferson and Kupp and everyone else, or Diggs and Tyreek Hill this year for that matter. But there is a slight difference. There's a second tier, and that's the tier that's got CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Waddle in it, and if it doesn't, Jalen Waddle should be in that tier in Dynasty at least. But it's also got Deebo Samuels, and Deebo Samuels, 25 years old, and it feels like we're just kind of over it after the last year. Oh wow, Deebo Samuels was great, but he's still putting up those points. And he's only 25, he's not 27, 28, 29 like those other guys. And so Deebo Samuel's become one of my most suggested trade targets at the wide receiver position this week. And brings me on to my next section, I just realized. Players at the wide receiver position that look like that we've been tracking for a while. We added 2 new names next week. We haven't added any names this week. Marcus Brown, Cortland Sutton, Jamar Chase joined the list last week, but, as a dynasty asset, there was never a window on Jamar Chase, and if there was, your league mate should maybe play like golf or something, I don't know. Deebo Samuel, CeeDee Lamb, and DK Metcalf. Those are the wide receivers with stats that seem to suggest they will finish up inside the top 12. 21. In fact, the only guy on that list right now who's currently in the top 12 is Marcus Brown, and he's the one I have the most questions about. One question on Marcus Brown this year is he's overly efficient in touchdowns. He's got something like 139 yards per touchdown. The positional average is 170, and he has a very marginal red zone role. He actually only has 8.7% of the team's red zone touches, whereas everyone on that list, apart from CeeDee Lamb, actually is over 18%. CeeDee Lamb is down at 11%, but he's also operating fairly efficiently in terms of how many touchdowns he's scoring per yard. So, Marcus Brown has some touchdowns concerns. At the running back, I'm not writing that up, but I did take a quick glance, and if you look at the thresholds for this point, and run a faster version of the analysis I've done for wide receiver, look for running backs averaging over 16 expected points per game, or over 18 points per game if you just want to use the points per game threshold. And we actually have more running backs currently averaging points that would lead you to believe they should finish inside the top 12 at this point. And again, they hit for about the same round, about 65 to 70% instead of 70 to 75%, but it's still pretty good. Austin Eckler, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, and Leonard Fournette. 3 players currently outside the top 12 averaging those numbers for running back are Joe Mixon, Jonathan Taylor, and Javonte Williams. But Javonte Williams doesn't count, although I do think, based on what we were talking about last week, there are some really interesting buy low running backs as dynasty long-term values. And I think Javonte Williams, Najee Harris, DeAndre Swift, I really think they are... It's a weird dynasty year, like we keep saying, because you're buying them for later, and they're running backs, and that's not normal. But these guys are very young and very proven. And Swift and Harris kind of turned it around last week already a little bit in terms of his points. And people just hate Najee Harris. For some reason, we think he's not got the talent; he's just got the volume. Just kind of, I don't know how to explain that. It's like saying he's not a sky, he's only got blue, no clouds. Like that's the same thing. So yeah, those guys are interesting. There are some players on the come up. Breece Hall, obviously. Also, Dameon Pierce do look like they're gonna. If I was running this activity more in depthly, I think they would make my list of. There are also some interesting dynasty targets if you're looking more to next year that are less solid. that are less about ADP and who will value them, and more about guessing that the market's going to misvalue them, which is a dangerous dynasty asset because you can just foul out and lose all the value. Believe me, I have all the Juju Smith-Schuster. That's this part of the list, okay? And that's Rashad Bateman, Elijah Moore, Devontae Smith, but he keeps putting up good games, so maybe not. Donald Mooney, I keep thinking I should mention him more in content because, like, I was still set. Once a wide receiver's proven, they don't get less proven. That's also what led me down the Juju Smith-Schuster rabbit hole. To be fair, and I did say that's this list. So those 4 wide receivers, I think, make interesting value opportunities. And I got asked in my Discord today, do you think Elijah Moore is still good? Wait, I don't think he got less good. Again, it can Juju Smith-Schuster. But I expect overall players who have proven a certain level of ability in the league to do it again. And could I get the rug yanked out from under me? Yeah, there are one and dones. It's happened before, even in rookie seasons. And these are guys who, if they don't hit the top 24 and haven't already, like Devontae Smith, they will start not to make the breakout list we do this offseason because career year matters. And going into your 3rd year without already a top 24 season makes you less of a likely breakout, to be honest. Deontay Johnson is on that list too. Sorry, I started there and forgot to add him to the list. Anyway, I should get out of here. I gotta edit this 30-minute thing down to 10 minutes without making Zach mad, and also making the edit not last 2 hours because, like I said, I want to go to bed. But those are some dynasty thoughts. Last one on the way out. We've been saying the last 2 weeks you should be trying to assess whether you're winning or losing. If you don't know now, join us on the Dynasty Grind. Give me a heads up, and Zach and Outhouse a heads up on what's going on. We record every Wednesday, 9:30, because you should know. And that's what I was getting from those questions as well. People who are still trying to play it like redraft, like it could turn around in a moment. It can. Like there are some leagues where you should probably start selling in Dynasty where it could turn around and you get the right start sits, you get the right waiver claims, you get 1 or 2 trades, and you win and never give up. But I really don't think that's the best way of playing Dynasty because of that roster snobbery. If you want to grow value, you have to move quicker. And if you want to make a Dynasty or an Elite Squad for next year, you really have to start taking advantage of every opportunity that comes your way, and you can't be hindered by points nearly as much. And I think that's how you end up with middling teams sometimes. So, yeah, I really recommend you make a strong decision one way or the other if you haven't already, and just start going for it, to be honest with you. Alright, out of here, I swear. God, thanks a lot for listening. I really do appreciate it. And watching, if you happen to watch, since it's a video. I can't really express how grateful I am that you're helping me build this channel. I really can't. So thanks very much, and yeah, see you next week. Bye. Hey, thanks for checking out another video. If you could like, subscribe, comment, that'd all be great. But also check out the rest of the channels and follow my Patreon link to see what I'm up to over there. And the Linktree link, I guess, is going to take you to easy access to my podcast, the articles I'm writing over there at DLF, as well as most of the other things I'm up to. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks very much.